Just when everyone thought there is this de-escalation of tensions between the US and China after they reached this temporary truce in their terror force, then came this statement from US Secretary of State Marco Rubio promising to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students who, in his words, with connections to the ruling Communist Party and studying in critical fields in the US. Now, China, of course, being a one-party state with the party's tentacles really reaching every aspect of society, it could be difficult for many people to really disprove any connections to the party, especially if the State Department defines that term loosely. So this move could actually have massive repercussions for the nearly 300,000 Chinese students currently studying in the US, including the huge personal cost for them if they were being kicked out. But as many adults have also pointed out, this move could also have unintended consequences that could actually benefit China, as we are already starting to see the so-called reverse brain drain phenomenon as more and more Chinese students and scholars, including some of the brightest minds in their fields, to return to China from the US or choose to stay in their homeland because of this increasing unwelcome environment in the US. Then suddenly came this 1-2 punch from the Trump administration targeting China, with reports about new orders to stop selling key technologies and components in the semiconductor and aviation industries to China.
What does all of Trump's behavior, what does it mean for the sort of the future of study abroad in the United States? And I think it's a really interesting question. The blunt shorthand is this is hardly good for the image of the United States to have the president kind of going after, the beacon of higher education, which is in this case Harvard. Ultimately, it doesn't look good. It makes students who are international feel less welcome, which is really quite, it is terrible in part because it couldn't be farther from the truth. The reality is that most of these institutions want more international students now than they ever have before. Because of Trump's budget cuts with grants and research funding, these institutions are going to need more international students than ever before because international students pay full tuition. And almost every major employer, particularly in the tech sector, is absolutely desperate for more skilled, talented labor within, specific STEM fields like computer science and engineering, et cetera. And we can't get that through Americans. I mean, California alone issued 80,000 H-1B visas to tech workers last year. That's 80,000 jobs that couldn't be filled by Americans. If you kind of add all of this up, what you get is the fact that the U.S. really does want international students. And what Trump is doing is sending a horrible signal to the rest of the world that isn't actually about international students. It's just about his fight with Harvard, and the international students are just sort of collateral damage.
The U.S. is escalating its crackdown on Chinese student visas. On May 28, 2025, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. will begin aggressively revoking visas for Chinese students, particularly those affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party or studying in sensitive fields like artificial intelligence or quantum computing. This move is part of a broader initiative to scrutinize U.S.-China academic ties due to national security concerns. The State Department has also paused all new student visa interviews to implement enhanced social media vetting procedures. This development has caused significant uncertainty among international students, especially at institutions like Harvard University, where students are concerned about their future in the U.S. China has condemned the U.S. policy.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Something serious just happened in the U.S. and it's sending shockwaves around the world, especially in the education space. The U.S. government under Trump's administration has started revoking visas for Chinese students, especially those linked to sensitive academic fields or even loosely associated with the Chinese Communist Party. That's right, students who came to study, learn, and build a future are now being forced to leave. And it's not just about China, it's a warning to all international students. Let's break it down. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Usmide. Kindly consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we get to the video, let me play a few clips on the same, and I'll be back with my commentary. All credit goes to the original creators of these videos.
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has just announced that the United States will begin revoking the visas of Chinese students. The Chinese students that will be impacted include those, according to Rubio, that have connections to the Chinese Communist Party or, quote, study in critical fields. This is the statement that was just issued by Rubio minutes ago on his Twitter. As you can see, it says the U.S. will begin revoking visas of Chinese students who are studying in critical fields. Now, this is very vague, so if you are a Chinese student or you know a Chinese student, spread the word, because a critical field could mean anything from engineering to science to medicine, anything. We don't know what Rubio and the State Department are doing, when they're going to start revoking these visas and ordering the deportation of students from campuses. But this is a significant escalation and could impact thousands of Chinese students currently studying in the United States of America. Spread the word so more people know.
The decision was announced by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on May 29th. He claimed it's for national security reasons. According to the administration, some students from China could be part of a broader threat like spying, stealing, technology, or gaining knowledge the U.S. considers sensitive. But here's the problem. Most of these students came simply to study. They are not spies, they are not a threat, they are young people trying to get a good education and create a better life. Many have worked incredibly hard to earn a spot at the top US universities, and now their dreams are being taken away just like that. Imagine getting accepted to a top school like Harvard or Stanford, paying thousands in tuition, moving across the world, and then getting told, sorry, your visa's been cancelled. Pack up and leave. That is not just harsh, it's devastating. And let's talk about what this means for education in America. US universities rely heavily on international students. They bring diversity, intelligence, and yes, money. Chinese students alone make up a huge portion of international enrollment. They pay full tuition, which often helps fund scholarships for American students. So when the government kicks them out, it doesn't just hurt the students, it hurts the schools too. Many American universities are speaking out. Harvard is even illegally fighting these kinds of restrictions, saying it has academic freedom and the global reputation of American education. And they are right. If the US becomes a place where students are rejected, not for what they have done, but just for where they have come from, what message is that sending to the world? Let's believe this move is political. It's part of a larger anti-immigration push by the Trump administration. First, it was asylum seekers, then it was workers, now it's students. And while it's being framed as a national security issue, it feels more like discrimination. People from Asian communities, especially Chinese students, are already facing increased racism and suspicion in the US. This policy just makes it worse. It tells everyone that if you're from a certain country, you're not to be trusted. And that's dangerous. And here's the irony. When these students are being forced out, other countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK are welcoming them. So guess what? The US is losing talent. Brilliant minds in engineering, science, medicine, and technology are choosing to go elsewhere. The very people who could have built America's future are now building someone else. Is that really winning? What's even more painful is how students are reacting. Many are afraid. Some don't know if they will be able to finish their degrees. Others are scrambling to transport or return home under stressful conditions. Families are panicking. Years of planning, money, and effort gone in a flash. And it's not just Chinese students who are worried. International students from all over Asia, Africa, and Latin America are asking the same question. Am I the next one? Will they also be targeted based on their nationality or field of study? Let's not forget, education is supposed to be a bridge, not a wall. It's about bringing people together, not dividing them. It's about learning from one another, sharing ideas, and growing together. But now, it seems that even education has become a political tool. So what can we learn from this? First, this is a clear example of how politics can ruin opportunities. When leaders use fear and nationalism to gain support, innocent people pay the price. Students shouldn't be caught up in the middle of political fights. Second, it shows the importance of speaking out. Universities, educators, and students themselves must raise their voices. If you think this policy is unfair, say something, because silence only makes them smart. And finally, it's a reminder that the future is global. Whether the US likes it or not, the world is connected. You can't build walls around education. The smartest countries are the ones that welcome talent, not reject it. To the students affected by this, especially those from China, what's happening is though. You came to study, to grow, to dream. You deserve better. And to those watching from outside, let's not make the same mistake. Whether we are from Africa, Asia, Latin America, or Europe, we must protect the rights to learn. So no matter where we come from, because education isn't a threat, it's hope. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.